Mindfulness is really, really important. We'll have a whole video devoted to that, but I do want you to get to know yourself in a way that you previously haven't. Our data very consistently says that practices like Tai Chi and yoga are associated with slower rates of Parkinson's progression. These are not activities where you're increasing your heart rate or dripping with sweat, but what they are doing is teaching you to know your body differently, to relate to it differently, and we'll have all kinds of tips and tricks about how you learning how to work with your body will open up a whole world to you. For example, I can have somebody in my office who's stuck. They're frozen. They've had Parkinson's for a couple decades now, and it's like their feet are glued to the floor, and they're stutter stepping, and they can't bring their leg to take the next step. All I have to do is say, how many steps to the door? And as soon as they say 12, they can take 12 steps, no problem. And then they're stuck again. And so it's not that the legs don't work. It's that rote routine pathway from brain to foot is what's not working. When you go brain to number to foot, it's fine. You can walk. And so it's just the way some people can sing but not talk, or skate but not step. It's the same sort of thing. And so what happens is when you enter into these mindfulness practices, whether it's Feldenkrais or yoga or Tai Chi, but when you get to know your body differently, what happens is it's like writing new lines of code. You have access to movement in a way that you previously didn't, and you're more self-aware. You can catch yourself if you find yourself pulling forward. You're better at catching yourself early and pulling back. So, in summary, all things considered, you have likely had this disease for years upon years upon years upon years. The difference between then and now is now you're in a position to do something about it. Probably had it for 20 years prior to diagnosis, and you're probably going to live at least 30 more with this disease. So we are playing the long game here. I want you to learn as much as you can. Realize that there are a lot of people who have gone before you who are living very, very successful lives. There are people who are writing about their journey with this disease. John Pepper is fabulous. You know, he was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease probably 30 years ago. He took meds for the first 10 years, and then he realized that he could control his disease really quite well with fast walking. And so that's what he does, and he's been off all medications for the last 20 years, and I've met him. He has Parkinson's. I've done my own physical exam. I had my Parkinson's sniffing dog smell him. He has Parkinson's, but you wouldn't know it. He's as asymptomatic as anyone without Parkinson's disease when you see him, and he's not taking any medications. So that's not how Parkinson's is supposed to progress, but here we have somebody who is a living example of reversal. So those are the people I want to inspire you. Those are the people the physician should be studying and we should be learning from, and they do exist. So I want you to kind of prioritize as you move forward here: a good night's sleep, social health, exercise, a plant and fish-based diet, and you know, the other thing, I didn't really say anything about social health, but in all of the work that we're doing, we're looking at hundreds of different variables associated with different rates of progression. What do people eat? Do they have pets? Do they go to church? The four things that we have been able to identify as being associated with the fastest rate of Parkinson's progression, first and foremost, are people who say that they feel lonely. People who say that they are lonely, people who are financially poor, people who get a bad night's sleep, and people who don't exercise. That's the cohort that seems to be progressing the most rapidly. Financial health is a tough one. It's a societal problem, and I am not going to be able to solve that problem for most of you. But the things, the ones that we can control, the loneliness, the exercise, the good night's sleep, I do think that those are things that we can fairly easily address. And so if I leave you with anything, I just kind of want to say in summary that reaching out to people, plugging into your community, building that social network, don't letting yourself fall into a trap of loneliness is really important. Eating a plant-based diet with seafood, exercise every single day of the week. We'll talk about this in subsequent videos, but 7 days a week is better than 6. 6 is better than 5. 5 is better than 4. Every day matters. Have some sort of a mindfulness routine, whether this is Tai Chi or yoga or meditation or something like that. And really prioritize sleep. Don't spend, the first part of your sleep cycle watching TV and just wasting those hours. Get in the habit of going to bed a little bit earlier, and we'll have a whole video that talks about how to improve your sleep. But in summary, I want everyone watching this video to know that I truly believe this is a very, very manageable disease, that I do not believe that it is necessarily irreversible and progressive as you may have read online. I have made my entire career is about studying the people who are doing unusually well with this disease, and my goal with these videos is to teach you who those people are and what they're doing, in hopes that if you start doing that too, you will experience the same long-term benefits that they are experiencing. All right, thank you.